my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you've chose to spend your time with me. And if you want to support my channel, it's really easy. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell of when you'd like to be notified of when I drop a video. And I hope that you are all doing well, but if not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But if you want to forget about things for just a little while, join me in meeting the Wild Way Oracle deck. And this deck was created by Nicola, Allan, and published by Astraea Creative. I hope I said that right. And it is a publishing company that Nicola founded in 2022. And currently, as of the release of this video, the deck and the Oracle book are sold out. And if you want to be notified of when they will be restocked, you can go to the website, which I will link in the description, and join the mailing list. And then you will get notified of when she has restocked it. And I don't know if she's going to change the price that she had on these cards and guidebook. Okay, so the deck is 5¼ inches height across, is 3.80, and it's an inch across, and it only has the title on the sides of the deck, which makes me sad. Because I like to stack my decks like this for room, and yeah, it's hard to stack decks that way, so I wish that more creators would put it on the top or the bottom, but that's just my preference. And then we have some teaser cards, and it says, inspired by ancient customs, traditions, and lore, the Wild Way Oracle deck invites you to explore the natural world, reflect on the changing seasons, and celebrate the passing of the year. 44 Oracle cards and access to a digital guidebook allow seekers to gain a greater understanding of the universe and their place in it. Alright, so when we open it up, there is no ribbon, so you have to pour the cards out. And if you're going to use reversals, if you do use them, they will be revealed. And this has some gold foil on it. And cardstock, if you're interested, 400 GSM cardstock with protective matte finish. And the cards themselves are, of course, bigger than your regular tarot cards, as you can see. And they are 5 inches height, and across is 3.5, and the deck width is 3/4 of an inch. Alright, so the title card says, in the past, natural rhythms were present in everyday activities, and seasonal cycles were recognized by the celebration of grand communal events. Today, however, much of this connection has been lost. Urban living and technology, while making our lives safer, more convenient, and more entertaining, has obscured the night sky and made following the cycles of the moon and the stars far less accessible. But all is not lost. We can still take steps to reconnect with the natural rhythms of our environment. By taking the time to observe the march of the planets and reflect on the changing seasons, we can rediscover the beauty of the natural world and gain a deeper appreciation of our place in it. The Wild Way Oracle deck has been designed specifically to help foster this special connection and to help you to reconnect, remember, and rewild. And on the back of this card, you can get the digital guidebook, or there is this lovely, rather large guidebook that also is sold out, but you can also put yourself on the wait list for the guidebook as well. And we will explore this beautiful guidebook, because I am such a guidebook fangirl. Alright, so the deck also comes with these deacon cards, and we'll go into deacons after I show you the decks. So this is a reference for the 36 deacons. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this deck. And as you can see, it has, they're all animals, and we have a number, and then we have a, I guess, title to the card, and then at the bottom it has an astrology symbol, and then what deacon, because the deacons are cut into 3 deacons for every astrology sign. All right. And these are so cute. I love the illustration. And I did get these through BackerKit. And if you are not familiar with BackerKit, it is very similar to Kickstarter. And it's addictive as well as Kickstarter, but they don't have as many decks as Kickstarter does. And I have backed a few BackerKit decks. And it's basically the same setup. You are introduced to the deck. They give you the information about it as much as they have. You pledge whatever you want with, I think they do add-ons or rewards, or I can't remember. And then you do your pledge, and then when it's over, they basically collect the money, and then they give you updates on how the project is going, and then same thing, they let you know that they're shipping, and you can send the creator messages. So it's very similar. And the one thing I hope she changes for any future decks is the gold, the gold lettering, because if it's a dark background, it's really easy to see it, and it does pop at you. But when it's like a light one, it because I'm kind of adjusting the card just to hopefully you guys can see the see, this one is perfect. You can see everything. You can see the number, you can see the lettering and the symbol, because it's set against a darker background. But as you can see with the white, it's, you know, I have to kind of turn the card around just to get everything in. That's the one thing I hope that she will change in future decks. I mean, the gold lettering is nice, but when it's on the lighter background, like I said, it's really hard. Okay, so that is the oracle part. And with addition, I separated these out so I could show you the different sets. Then we have the Wheel of the Year cards. These are so cute. And then we get a card that gives you basically the keywords that sum up the essence of that certain celebration. Okay, so we'll go ahead and look at these cards too. They're so darn cute. That's what drew me to it. This one, oh, I love this one. Little bunnies around the bonfire. It's cute too. Little bunnies around in their Halloween masks, their costumes. Okay. And then there is another deck that you can purchase separately if you so wish, and it has to do with the lunar cycles. So and this one comes in its own little pack, and it says, we follow the story of a little gardener mouse sowing, growing, gathering, sharing, and storing his own peas at each stage of the lunar cycle. And further deeper meanings of these cards are in the guidebook as well. And then you get the key card, and it has the different keywords that basically sums up the essence of each of the moon cycles. And then also in light, I don't know if you can see that too well, but in light letters, she's also matched each of the Wheel of the Year celebrations with each lunar. Okay, so we'll go ahead and these are not in order because I was messing around with them, so but you guys get the idea of the different cycles. And the little mouse illustrating. So cute, and what they represent. So all right. That is pretty much the deck. Okay. So the cardstock was surprisingly, I thought it would be very stiff and thick, but no, it's very flexi-bendy. I really like the cardstock. I really do. All right, so we're going to go into the guidebook, and there's a lot in the guidebook. To unpack, because there are many ways that you can use this deck. And I forgot to show you, I think I told you, that the bottom of the card has the astrology sign and what deacon it is, 1, 2, or 3, to help you identify it. Because unfortunately, the thing I also didn't like too is that she put numbers on the oracle cards, but she didn't put numbers in the guidebook. So until you learn the different symbols of the card, you're gonna have a little struggle with the guidebook, but that's okay. All right, so we have our content page. Okay, so as you can see, we went through the cards. The deck incorporates astrology, wheel of the year, tarot, oracle, lunar cycles, and timing. And you don't need to know any of this. This is just a deeper thing that she wanted to do with the deck. You can just do the oracle meanings. You don't need to know all about this other stuff. But I know a lot of people are into lunar cycles, wheel of the year, astrology, and they do use it with their cards. So just an FYI, you don't have to know any of this stuff or interested in it. Okay, so that being said, then we have an introduction, and this is just Nicola introducing herself and how she became interested in making a deck. And you can pause that and read that at your leisure. And I always like introductions and stuff because it gives me the why and how the deck came about and what gave them the inclination to do it and what they hope you'll get out of the deck. Okay, all right, so she goes into explaining the 36 deacons of the zodiac, and I've printed out a page of the deacons. And as you can see, it represents a calendar year and all of the astrology symbols. And deacons are basically the different astrology signs that are put into 3-10 increments. And she goes on to explain that this goes back thousands of years with the Egypts, and then we go on to how the deacons are presided over with 2 planetary rulers. And in that they basically will give that deacon a certain characteristic. And with the ancient system, they ruled by 7 traditional planets, which were visible to the naked eye. And she goes into the different planets: Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And then she goes into a little bit more and explains what they represent. Gives you a little bit deeper into it. And then we go into the elements. And if you are into astrology as well as the tarot, you basically know about the association with each suit being associated with fire sign, water sign, air sign, or earth sign. And then we go into the modality, and that is cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And that splits them up into 3 categories. And she goes into further explaining those, which is nice. Just kind of gives you an idea of how it's broken down, and how each astrology sign represents the different what is the word I'm looking for? Like, for example, I'll just explain it because I can't find the words for it. Like, cardinal signs. Aries. Okay, so the cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. The cardinal signs: Aries kicks off spring, Cancer marks the start of summer, Libra commences autumn, and Capricorn falls at the beginning of winter. Cardinal signs are associated with bursts of energy, new beginnings, and taking action. They basically kick off the seasons, in other words. And then the fixed signs are the next ones. They're like in the middle. And then the mutable signs bring up the end of certain seasons. And then we go to the animal ambassadors. And basically she assigned an appropriate animal for each deacon to represent that deacon that she felt fitted. And then we go into further explanation about the different elements and everything like that. Okay, and then we go into the Wheel of the Year. And if you're familiar with this, you know. If you're not, basically it's just a reference to the Wheel of the Year cards and how they look with the deacon circle. And then we go into the moon phases, and learning about the Wheel of the Year and the lunar phases will help you in becoming more connected to the natural cycles of the year, because each celebration, I like that word instead of Sabbath or whatever else they'll call it, but I like it because they are milestones or celebrations, and it helps you to remember what you could be focusing on and what you could be working on at that time of the year, and it kind of keeps you in check. It's the best way I can put it. And with the moon phases have their own little milestones as well, like basically going through the lunar cycles. You could be focusing on a certain thing, like starting a new project, resting, harvesting, and you could apply that to your life in general as well. Okay, so those are just examples and the best way I can explain them. So then we go on to how to use the book and the deck. And like I said, simple divination. You can just use this as a oracle deck, nothing else, if you choose not to. Follow the sun. You can basically just do a deacon walk, and I have the paper on that, so we'll go through that to give you a better idea. So you can just basically follow through the year, follow the sun, in other words, follow the different deacons, and that could help you focus on that certain time, things you could be doing at that time. And then we have the key that has the glyphs on the deacon wheel, and she gives you the keys. And this is the actual deacon picture. Mine's a little faded, but it is what it is. And then it says the wild way your way, and however you want to do it. If you want to do it intuitively, you can do that as well. Seasonal celebrations, talking about the wheel of the year. You can create an altar, display corresponding cards, and gather your friends and family to celebrate. Then we have the timing events, and you can use the lunar phases for that, or you can use the wheel of the year cards for that as well. And then we get into the actual 36 deacons of the zodiac, and this is basically the meaning section, and she basically separates them by the astrological sign and goes into about Aries, information about it. And then we go into the actual meanings, and describes how the animal fits into that deacon. And then she incorporates a tarot card in with it. As I did mention before, she does incorporate tarot into this as well. So she tells you how it does line up with that particular oracle card, and she gives you an explanation, and then she gives you the picture of the specific tarot card, and then at the end of each meaning pages she'll give you the planetary rulers, the tarot card, and then the deacon. And she does that throughout the whole book. And then we go into the Wheel of the Year section, and this gives you beautiful color picture, and then it gives you the background on each of them, and gives you the date when it's celebrated, and then things that you can do during that time. And then we go through the different ones, and it's the same thing. And then we go into the lunar phases, and we have the big picture of how they work, I guess you could say. And then we basically follow little mousies as they go through the lunar phases. And then down at the bottom, this part of the lunar cycle corresponds with Yule, and let you know if you want to line things up with each lunar phase with the Wheel of the Year celebration. And then we have some nature omens, and she talks about how if you wanted to, you could work on noticing nature omens, and then gives you how to identify and use nature omens in your life. And then we have some resources and further reading, and then we get a little nice blurb with the picture of the lovely creator. Okay, so with the guidebook, got that out. Okay, so excuse me, we're gonna go ahead and shuffle. I know I usually pick a card at a different time, but this was a different deck. Okay, so let's go ahead, and if you wanted to shuffle, you could do the overhand shuffle. You could do the rifle shuffle. You can cut the cards, do there's no right or wrong way to do a shuffle. You can do the fan. These are a little kind of difficult to do a nice fan, but you can still do it. Or you can just spread them out. All right, so let's see which one wants to pop up and give us a message on, I don't know, what should we focus on at this time? We'll just do that question. Because I know the question is really important. That kind of really, really helps things. Okay, deep sacrifice. Okay. And that is the last deacon. Because there's 36 deacons. All right, so we have Pisces 3, a deep sacrifice. Okay, so let's read about that. Okay, Pisces 3 Kingfisher is pursuing the tastiest fish he has ever seen. He has his whole heart set on that little minnow. But wait, the river is shallow here and it's dangerous to dive in. He doesn't care. He's going to snatch his supper from the water no matter the cost. But will his passionate quest be worth the risk? His sacrifice prompts us to consider what we are giving our all to, or to whom we are giving everything. The willingness to make sacrifices in favor of a project or person can result in the happiest of endings, but be sure you are choosing the right recipient. I can't even say that. Recipient. There we go. For your efforts. As we reach the final decan of Pisces, we have also come to the very end of the zodiacal year, and just as we started with the Aries 1, we finished with another double Mars decan, ruled decan. The face is a place of deep sacrifice and referred to by Austin Kopak as a bowl of blood, which he writes is related to the attainment of one's desire no matter the cost. In this decan, we have the opportunity for the happy ending, for all our dreams to come true, and to joyfully ride off into the sunset. But first, we must know what we wish to pursue, and then give our absolute all in order to achieve it. As Kopak writes, one must have an idea of a love worth sacrificing for, though also warns that many of those who walk this decan are only too willing to engage themselves in the romantic, and they, as such, this face is littered with broken dreams and failed martyrs, those who sacrifice themselves to an illusion. The ancient deaconing imagery references the potential for pain and difficulty found here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. With YAVANAJATAKA of SPHUJIDHVAGA. I don't even want to put your ears through that butchering. Speaking of a woman who shrieks as she is frightened. The Pictrix, which refers to a sad man of evil thoughts, thinking on deceptions and treachery, and Ibn Ezra, who writes of a naked man putting his foot on his belly, in his hand a lance, and he is shouting out of fear and robbers and fire. The significations of Mars come through loud and clear. However, we do also find a cheerier side to this deacon thanks to Agrippa, who has the description, a man naked or a youth, and nigh him a beautiful maid, whose head is adorned with flowers, and it hath his signification for rest, idleness, delight, fornication, and for embracing of women. And Johannes Angelus, who writes that it is a face of fornication that embraces of great delight with women and loving peace and quietness. These images reflect the fact that Jupiter has all over rulership of this face, which brings the potential for a far more positive outcome than you might initially imagine possible from a double Mars decan, ruled decan, We see this in the Minor Arcana Tarot card for this decan, the Ten of Cups, which depicts a blissful scene of a happy couple, two children dancing merrily underneath a rainbow and in front of a beautiful home surrounded by lush gardens. What joy! T. Susan Chang, who refers to this decan as the rainbow woven, writes of the Ten of Cups that if you choose the right endpoint, bliss can shimmer into view. Mars brings motivation, and Jupiter, as overall ruler of Pisces, is the leap of faith required to get there. As Kopak writes, this face inspires the lust and desire implied by these pictures, but the true object of the passions is a merger with the universe itself. The face and body of the beloved are a mask and an entry point into the experience of all as bliss. Planetary rulers, Mars and Mars. Tarot card, Ten of Cups, 20 to 29 degree decan Pisces. That's a lot to take in. That is a lot. Okay, so that gives you an idea. All right, so let's go into the decan walk. Okay. So the decan walk is an active and reflective practice that aligns with the sun's passage through each 10-degree section of the zodiac. Each decan represents a different set of energies and planetary influences, offering unique opportunities for growth, self-reflection, and spiritual connection. Here's how you can engage in a decan walk. Understand the decans and their influences. We kind of went through this. The zodiac is divided into 12 signs, each containing 3 decans, giving us 36 decans in total, as well as the influence of the overall planetary ruler of each sign. Each decan is co-ruled by 2 additional planets and embodies specific qualities that shapes its energy. The basic structure of decans is: the first decan is 0 to 9, second decan is 10 to 19, third decan is 20 to 29. Okay, then you start with the current decan. You can start any time, but first you need to determine what decan the sun is in. You can use the Wild Way decan walk check. Then each time the sun moves into a new decan, you adjust your focus to the energy of that decan. Example, when the sun is in Aries, if it's between 0 and 9, it is in Aries 1. Once the sun passes the 10 mark, we move it into Aries 2, then finally to Aries 3. Align with the energy of each decan. Each decan has a specific archetype and planetary influences that you can work with during the sun's passage. The goal of your decan walk is to reflect, align with, and channel the qualities of that decan's energy. For example, Aries 1, 0 to 10 Aries. Planetary influence: Mars, action, drive, initiation. Take action, start new projects, etc. Reflect on the areas of your life that need a boost of Mars's bold, fiery energy. Identify the planetary influences and focus on embodying these qualities in your life during the sun's transit through the decan. Engage in active reflection. As the sun moves through each decan, take time each day to reflect on the energy of that decan. You can do this through journaling, meditation, or simply pausing to think about the themes of the decan and how they relate to your life. Using a specific daily time to check in with your inner world, such as morning meditation, evening journaling, or just a moment of stillness during the day. You can also take the corresponding card and display it somewhere prominently so you're reminded of the energy as it catches your eye during the day. Work with symbolism and ritual. As you reflect on the energy of the decan, visualize its associated symbolism. Picture yourself embodying the archetype of the decan. Oh my God. As you go through your day, imagine the energy of the decan flowing into you, influencing your decisions and action. You can also perform simple rituals that align with the decan's energy. For example, during Aries 1, you might perform an energizing ritual like lighting a red candle, moving your body, or engaging in a vigorous activity to channel Mars's influence. Adjust your intentions as the sun moves. Every 10 days, as the sun moves into the next decan, you'll shift your focus. This transition offers a chance to evolve your intentions. Reflect on how the energies of the previous decan have manifested in your life and think about how to adapt to the new decan's energy. Document your journey. Track your progress by journaling each day or every few days. Reflect on how the energy of each decan has influenced your life and any insights you've gained. Your reflections will help you understand the cyclical nature of the zodiac and how to work with the planetary influences in your everyday life. Journaling prompts. What did I learn today from the current decan's energy? How can I embody more of this decan's influence on my life? What challenges or lessons came up during this time? Reflect on the zodiac sign. After completing all 3 decans of a sign, Aries 1, 2, and 3, pause to reflect on the themes you explored. Consider what growth you experienced as the sun moved through those decans and how you can integrate the lessons learned before you move on to the next zodiac sign. This approach offers the opportunity to create a deeper connection with the natural rhythms of the universe. You may feel more in tune with both your inner world and the outer energies that guide us as you follow the sun's path through the zodiac. By following the sun through the decans in this way, you're engaging in an intentional spiritual walk, aligning with powerful cosmic forces and using them to inform you of your own growth. A wonderful way to live in harmony with the natural cycles of the universe. Okay, so that's one way that you can use the cards. Also, another timing, if you want to, you can use it. Okay, so we are coming up on a Mabon or Ostara, wherever you live. We're coming up on those 2. And you can ask a question. So Mabon is balance, bountiful harvest, wonder, and gratitude. Ostara focuses on awakening, rebirth, and balance. So if you wanted to, you could ask a question of what should I focus on during this time, during Mabon, for my better good? I don't know. That's just a question I throw out. Okay, so you can do strength under fire. Okay, and then you can take your Luna cards and when would be a good time to focus on this? Waning gibbous. And that is gratitude, reflection, sharing, and dissemination. And then you can go into the guidebook and look up both of these. I'm not going to read them because they are so long, but I just wanted to give you just a little idea of how you could do the timing cards. You can also, you don't even need to do the celebration. You could just do, okay, when should I focus on strength under fire? You can use the lunar cards and you can pick a certain time. Okay, the next full moon, you can focus on strength under fire. That lesson that you can do with that. So it's basically just, I'm just throwing out an example. You don't have to do it that way. You can pick any way, or you can just do a simple oracle reading, whichever you want. There's just so many ways that you can use this deck. Yeah, I had no idea how deep this deck could go. And it can go as shallow or deep as you like. And there's many ways that you can use it. You can also use this, you can make an altar. And this is such a cute way to honor the celebration. It really is. I can't get over how cute these cards are. I know, I'm oogling over them. But anyway, if you've stayed with me, thank you so much. And if you were able to obtain this deck, let me know how it's working out for you. And if you have anything to add to the deck, anything I've missed, go ahead and put it in the comments. And you can also let people know anything I missed, or if you can add a review or anything that you liked about the deck or did not like. And if you did, after seeing my video, go over and sign yourself up on the wait list, let me know. I'm always happy to know that if I have a good effect on anybody who is on the fence about buying a deck, or they've never seen the deck before and they're like, I want that deck. Thank you for referring me to it. I'm always happy to know that. But once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I do hope that you will join me with another video. But until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.